Good evening, YouTubers. This is Gabe Medina, New Leaf Network. How are you doing this evening? I'm here with a good friend of mine named Jose Trujillo. He a co-worker of mine, also a business partner of mine. He also took drug abuse counseling classes, courses. He knows a little bit about archetype stuff like that. He loves history, just like me, and we all know history repeats itself. So here's Jose Trujillo. How you doing?
Good, how are you, babe?
Good, good. I just got out of work. Decided to get on here and just wing it, see what's going on. Um, I was at work today, and there's a lady there, and she was telling me, God is love and light, and I'm like, well, wow, what religion are you? Because I've never heard that, only from what I hear, see on the books as far as like law of attraction, all that, spirituality, spiritualism, right? And she's a Jehovah's Witness, so I never really knew that perspective. But what do you think about spirituality and how it's been helping you or anything? What's your concept of that? And if anything, you've had any luck, kind of like reach one, teach one kind of concept?
Mm-hmm. No, well, my experience with spirituality is just it's helped me change my life completely as far as like the way I thought and stuff like that. I was raised to believe in like Catholicism and stuff like that. So when I came into spirituality and put it into practice, it just basically changed my whole view in life.
Yeah.
Starting simple, we're like just doing things simple as like just for today, try to be good, try to do as much as good as you can, try to help somebody, simple stuff like that. And then she started changing into I started getting more in depth and understanding more of the different teachings that come with spirituality. But yeah, it's helped me out a lot and helped me constantly as far as day by day how I go um, to when I first started to where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Where did you think you learned most of that?
Uh, I learned through my dad. Um, he's a recovering alcoholic. So most of his spiritual beginnings he got him from AA. Um, but whatever he shared with me, I took it. Um, Stuff that he would use for him to help in his recovery. I applied them to me too, and they helped. Um, I got more into the readings and
Yeah.
the literature as far as in AA.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not an addict
Yeah.
myself, but like
It helped
it
to some
helped me.
degree.
Yeah,
Some degree,
I
right?
focused on the spiritual aspects of it,
Yeah.
and it does help. Um, I like to read and to
To
learn more knowledge,
your
expand my knowledge and stuff like that. So I started with those, and then from there I wanted to learn a little bit more, and then I started reading other spiritual books and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and it's helped me. So basically, I can say those were my first steps into it, and then from there, it's just learning more and practicing more.
I would say like my spiritual stuff, guys, came from you at first. Whenever you told me about your dad and me having my situation with, the DWI that I had and how life was going and put you in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
So little by little, I was hearing what you were saying, and that kind of opened the flame where, actually, once I started paying attention to it more, I started being really excited about it because I realized it was empowering.
Mm-hmm.
And once I started doing that and doing the little things, just making myself inside better, I started producing an outside effect. So I started doing all my affirmations. I started doing stuff like that. And then I just kept going and going and going. And I started looking at the science of it. And it has worked for me a lot. I would say just takes that one thing, that reach one, teach one concept, and that's it. I mean, if they get it, they get it. If they don't, at least you tried. But for me, anyways, I looked for another way because my way wasn't working. My mind was taking over, and my spirit was basically trapped in its body that it wanted to like slap. Basically, that's how I see it. So I would say that was a lot of what happened to me, and that was just the one step that I had. And then as time grew by, I started realizing like the truth of how things work and how your vibration, your emotion ties into what your effects on the outside. So you are who you feel inside. Like that's what's going to be outside. So fixing the inside is very important, and then fixing the outside would be next. So I would say you got that from you. But what are some of the other things you've learned? Like as far as like any advice for the people here, as far as like learning spirituality and what they can do to make themselves a better person.
Well, like you said, like you mentioned yourself, like before anything, you have to understand yourself. One of the uh, stuff that I learned as far as in I learned in psychology too, I learned it through literature of AA. Is your temperaments. Once you learn to know your temperament and understand which ones you have, then that's how you get to know yourself. Because you can understand yourself if you're more prone to have anger inside you, or you're more prone to be depressed, or you're more prone to blame stuff on others or
Yeah,
stuff like that. You
sure.
know, you get to see your different aspects as far as how you are,
Hmm.
and I think in anything that you want to do, in order to help, you have to help yourself first.
Yeah, correct.
Because once you understand yourself and know what triggers you, what doesn't trigger you, what makes you happy, what doesn't make you happy, you know, like
It's a good self inquiry, huh?
yeah, exactly, yeah. You have to really dig in there and see uh, what is that you do wrong and what is that you're good at, and so like that, once you know it, then you can help other people.
Hmm.
Um, Once you understand yourself, you'll be able to know where a person
What
needs
applies?
help.
What applies to what they're doing and what they need to fix.
Mhm.
You can kind of see it,
Mhm.
and you can also dissect their archetype basically by talking to them and looking at them. Just
Mhm.
we're doing it because we're built that way to see what kind of vibration they're in, and we can
Mhm.
feel it before we even like talk to them. We can just feel it. We can feel it. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
strange.
yeah,
It's all
totally.
energy, obviously, right? Like, so what are some of the books you've read like in the past year, couple of years? It says any. It could be one or two or whatever.
Mhm.
Which ones would you recommend the group here?
Mhm. Well, for me, I started. It was like I told you, the blue book, but like I told you, that's part of for AA. So that's just my personal choice that I did. But I do really recommend the Four Accords. That's a really good book.
Hmm.
Uh, that kind of makes you understand a little bit more about, like, don't let any little type of situation, affect you and stuff.
Yeah.
That's one of the main books that I actually read. Um, can remember Cosmic Consciousness is another one.
That's yeah. I heard of
That
that
was
too.
another really good book that actually helped. Um, can't think of another one right now on the
Well, I
top of
mean,
my head.
those are all good books. I mean, I could recommend you some to audience as well. The books he has are very, very good. I would go with Power of Now.
Hmm.
Think and Grow Rich would be another one. The Red Book that it's after I have it there. I have an episode on that actually, and it's actually pretty good to start.